Welcome to 30-Second Chances, where we ask deep, contemplative questions and provide far too little time to formulate thoughtful, reflective answers. My guest today is Paul McCabe of Roland Corporation, Japan. Paul, how you doing? Good to see you.
Doing very well. Nice to see you as well.
All right. You know the drill, 30 seconds on the clock. On to the next question. Are you ready?
I am ready. Absolutely.
All right. The first one's easy. Describe your job to a 5-year-old.
My job to a 5-year-old. Well, I do a few different things. I try and get as many people in the world excited about how fun it is to make music as I can. And I do lots of different things to try and make that happen. For people that are already making music, I try and make their lives easier and more interesting and more exciting by giving them access to new instruments or new sounds or new experiences. And
Next
then
question.
That's it. That's what I
Next
do.
question. What would 15-year-old you be most and least impressed with about present day you?
Most impressed, I would say, is that I'm working in a job that's basically science fiction. Least impressed is that I have no hair compared to 15-year-old me. Well, compared to anybody.
Yeah, I guess that would bother 15-year-old me. That never really occurred to me. Oh.
Little disconcerting, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, then again, it's a look, right?
It's a look, and it's a look that I've rocked for a while now, so we're good.
There you go. All right, next question. What's the worst thing you've ever said to a boss or a client without thinking?
You're flat out wrong. Yeah, just you're flat out wrong. He was wrong, but
Tact and
that was in
diplomacy was a little missing there, huh?
well, yeah, and it was in a Canadian context where we tend to be a little bit more diplomatic, and that was not diplomatic at all. And I also didn't know this person that well yet, so wasn't off to a great start.
As Canadian, you're supposed to say you're flat out wrong, eh?
Yeah, I think. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry that you're wrong. Sorry that you're wrong.
All right, next question. How did you get your most recent injury?
How did I get my most recent injury? Let me think about what my most recent injury is. Okay, I hurt my leg, and I probably hurt my leg chasing after my chihuahua in the backyard. I either got it that way or up on a ladder hanging Christmas lights. There we go.
Sounds like you're making this up, actually, but okay.
Yeah, no, I actually didn't make. I did that. That's you'll figure out my tell. I didn't make that one up.
Okay.
That's true.
All right. Next question. You are about to be sent back in time, 600 years to medieval times. It's a one-way trip. You will not return. What 3 items will you take with you to help you survive or barter with?
I would take the instructions for how to build a steam engine out of all the raw materials around. I would take maps. I would take maps, not iPhone maps because there's no iPhones. I would take maps and a really big, long, heavy book that I could read just over and over and over again to remind me of where I came from.
All right, next question. Give me 3 unlikely musical covers.
Unlikely musical covers. Dolly Parton singing Whip It. Sorry, I scared my AirPods. Dolly Parton singing Whip It. Metallica playing Glenn Miller tunes.
Yeah.
And yeah, I actually would like to hear that. And Kraftwerk playing Mozart tunes.
I like it. I like it.
All Mozart tunes is a little Mozart tunes is a little disrespectful. Mozart pieces, but anyway, you get the idea.
Yeah, but still, I was actually thinking you were going to go for something else with Kraftwerk. Like maybe I don't know, blowing in the wind or something. But anyway, all right, next question. You've just woken up as a fictitious superhero with a completely pointless or semi-useless superpower. Who are you and what's your superpower?
Who am I and what's my superpower? Um, I'm the digger, and I have the ability to tunnel deeply at will. Just tunnel.
So you're kind of like Mole Man or something, huh?
Something like that. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, everybody else wants to fly. I just want to do the opposite. I want to go straight down, down, around, under, through.
Okay. I see sewer pipes in your future.
Yeah. And bruised foreheads for sure,
Yeah, there you go. All right,
which I
that
can't
concludes our
hide.
regularly scheduled questions. I'm now going to put 30 seconds more on the clock and allow you to either answer for me a question you wish I had asked you, ask me a question, shamelessly plug something, pontificate on life in the big city, whatever you want. 30 seconds, it's all yours. Go.
So you've asked this of others before. You asked them if you could go back in time and listen to one album again for the first time, what would that be? And I thought about that a lot. For me, it would be John Williams' soundtrack to The Empire Strikes Back. So I'd fallen in love with Star Wars. There weren't even such things as sequels, but a sequel was coming. And I actually bought the album before the movie came out, and I wore that album thin, imagining what this story was going to be for the 2 weeks or so that I had this record before I actually got to see the movie. And I can whistle every note of every instrument on every piece on that soundtrack
Wow.
today.
Wow. I mean, that must have really kind of changed the way you saw the movie, too, if I think about it.
Well, it did, and I mean, if I had more than 30 seconds, I would say that I was on a band trip, which I was in high school, and I was in San Jose, California, where I'd never been, and I was staying with a family whose kid was called Tuna Fish, and they would never tell me, and he was pissed at me because I didn't have a British accent because I came from British Columbia. He figured I would talk like Doctor Who, and I didn't, so he hardly talked to me the whole time. But I knew his name was Tuna Fish. And then I found this record, didn't have a record. I bought it in a little mall store that we were in to get lunch. And then I carried it with me for 3 or 4 days, like just holding it like it was the crown jewels, and until I got back home to listen to it. So
I don't know, but you lost me at tuna fish. I'm wondering what parent would do that to their kids.
well, I don't think it was the parent. I think it was probably a name that he earned in school for something or some deep desire. I don't really know, but he really liked it, and apparently they liked it enough that they never called him anything except tuna fish. So
Damn. It'd
yeah,
be a great name for a piano tuning service, you know?
tuna fish. You can't tune a piano. You can tune a fish with
There you
this guy.
go.
Yeah,
All right. Paul McCabe, thank you for being my guest.
my pleasure. Thank you for having me.